To give us more perspective in terms of what, of course, is unfolding at this moment, we are being joined by Mr. Devender Sharma, who's a distinguished food and trade policy analyst. He's also an award-winning Indian journalist, a writer, thinker and a researcher, and is joining us live from Chandigarh. Now, Mr. Sharma, this is a pretty important moment in terms of what is unfolding, where the farmers are sitting on protest again. They are saying that the government has not fulfilled their demands so far. What do you make of these farmers' demands?
Well, let's be very clear that the farmers are protesting to see that their income goes up. In fact, they deserve to get an assured income. And the demand for from the farmers is that the minimum support price should be a legal mechanism, which means the farmers say that what they want is actually the 23 crops for which minimum support price is announced every year in India. Out of these 23 crops, only 2 crops, wheat and paddy, are effectively procured by the government, and to some extent cotton and pulses. But by and large, farmers remain dependent on the markets. And markets, as we all know, on an average provide 30% less prices to farmer compared to the minimum support price that is announced. So which means that the MSP is primarily or basically on the paper, and it has no control over the trading that takes place. So the farmers are demanding MSP to be legalized. That is their primary demand. And when the protest happened 2 years back in 2021, the 3 contentious laws were withdrawn. But the farmers had demanded at that time also that minimum support price should be made a legal instrument. Now, this is where the talks are also struck, between the government and the farmer leaders. Government is saying that, it is not possible, we will need more time and so on. Farmers are saying you already had more time because for last 2 years, nothing has moved on that front. And so they are now pitching for a higher price, and I think that is very significant for the farming community.
Now, Mr. Sharma, just to play the devil's advocate here, the government will turn around and say that it is not possible to assure a minimum support price for all the 22, 23 different crops that the farmers are demanding this for, because at the end of the day, it all boils down to economics. How do you assure a minimum support price for the crops that the farmers say that they want to grow? Is this fiscally a prudent demand on behalf of the farmers?
Well, I think it is definitely a prudent demand from the farmers, because what is being appearing in the media in India, I think, is all a propaganda and is inflated figures being tossed around with no basis where the figures are coming from. Now, what is important to understand is when you say fiscal position will be taken care of or fiscal position will not deteriorate, let me tell you that CRISIL, those who do the analytical company, CRISIL, has come out with a study which says that if the government was to pay the difference in the minimum support price and what is the market price today, for 16 crops out of the 23, the expenditure in 2023 marketing year was only rupees 21,000 crore. Which tells us that all the figures being tossed around in India were just hyped to create a fear psychosis. Right. Now, if CRISIL report is correct, I see no reason why the government cannot make MSP a legal instrument. Why it is also important, let's be very clear that only 14% farmers in India get minimum support price. 86% farmers are dependent on the markets, which pay them a distress price or pay them a low price. And when the price, let's say, is legalized, the advantage would be that more the money in the hands of farmers would mean more the money they're going to spend in the markets. All right. Now, and that would mean create a huge demand.
All right.
And that will...
Mr. Sharma, let me just butt in there. And you said that there is this report that you quoted, assuming that is true, but also the timing of this protest. The fact that it is happening just a couple of months before the general elections. A lot of people are saying that this is a protest that has been motivated by politics. Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't know why when it comes to farmers, we start talking about politics. In a country where even awards are given looking at the closeness or the coming elections, then we don't question. But when the farmers do it, I think they are also now very intelligent, savvy, and they take on the strategy kind of a decision making. What is wrong in that?
Logically, they say that there is no government in India, considering that 55+% of the population in India is dependent on farming. There is no government that can keep the farmers unhappy in the country. But thank you very much indeed, Mr. Sharma, for joining us and getting us that perspective there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.